plastic bag is full, we throw it into the nearest landfill. It's out of sight and out of mind. What is the state of our humankind? And I don't know what to say, 'cause we produce more every day, and we call it garbage.
The Blue Box, an icon for recycling all over the world. And what many people don't know is that the Blue Box program actually started here in the province of Ontario in the early 1980s, and since then has been adopted by countless countries and municipalities all around the world to help divert from landfill. And there's some new things in the Blue Box, and from what I hear, plastic is in.
Stewardship Ontario is a non-profit organization that funds half the cost of running Ontario's curbside Blue Box collection program. Blue Box recycling started here in Ontario more than 30 years ago. It is the most comprehensive curbside collection program there is in the world, and now Blue Box programs are ubiquitous. We've entered a new era in Blue Box recycling. A much wider range of packaging that they see in their home every day can now be successfully recycled. That means it's no longer garbage. There is valuable resources embedded in that packaging. We now have the technology and the processes in place where we can extract that value and turn it into new products and new packaging that they buy every day.
Today I find myself at the city of Peterborough at the materials recycling facility. And today we're going to talk to some folks who can tell us all about additional plastics that are now being added into the Blue Box and some of the things we're doing to make recycling easier. Virginia, tell us about the Blue Box program, how long you've been involved here, and what exactly goes on at the material recovery facility.
Sure. Well, Peterborough's been recycling using the Blue Box since 1989. We were one of the first communities in Ontario. We accept and process all the recyclables from the city and the county of Peterborough. We're quite proud of the fact that we take a very wide range of materials in the Blue Box.
There's about 7 different types of plastics. And currently, how many do you take here?
We take them all. Rather than having people focus on the number, which is usually on the plastic, we try to describe to people the types of plastic which are acceptable.
Peterborough has been one of the 4 municipalities selected to roll out a PET, which is a type of plastic, as a pilot project. What are the citizens of Peterborough doing with their PET now?
Yeah, we're very honored to be one of 4 communities in this geographical area to pilot this with Stewardship Ontario. The purpose of this pilot is to increase people's awareness levels of what plastics they can recycle. Specifically, we're looking at the PET or number 1 plastics.
The Peterborough County and Northumberland Marketing Initiative is the first time that the consumer has had a very close look at all of the initiatives that we've been working on for the past several years to bring the Blue Box into the next era of recycling.
All these 4 municipalities have fantastic capture rates on all their plastics. But the one that we looked at after the curbside audits, we looked and we went, you know, the PET thermoforms was not as high as we'd like it to be. So we looked at that and said, okay, well, we're going to focus the campaign for this area on that particular material. The creative for this campaign can be modified for any municipality across Ontario, and then we can change up the graphics. We can change up the plastic types. So if another municipality 100 kilometers away feels they're not getting enough of their polypropylene, their number 5s, then we can change that, and we can modify that and allow them to use these materials.
It is really an exciting time to be part of Blue Box recycling because of investments we've made in market development have created new markets for these plastic materials. And equally exciting, Ontario's packaged goods industry and retail industry are making changes to the packaging that they're selecting to make it more recyclable in our supply chain.
Sherry, thanks so much for having me out here today. Very informative, fabulous facility, looks great, lots of participation here. And this is not garbage in Peterborough and the surrounding communities anymore. Number 1 plastic. And if it is garbage in your community, get on the phone and ask your councillor or ask your solid waste management committee why. Because this is not garbage. Check us out online at www.goinggreenforgreen.tv or follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. This program is brought to you in part by Stewardship Ontario. So we know from talking to people on the street that consumer demand is changing and people are really starting to demand products made from recycled materials. And when we talk about products made from recycled plastics, we have to talk about Gracious Living. This company's real innovator, they've done some really neat stuff, so let's go check it out.
Gracious Living, we are injection molders. Gracious Living Corporation, located in Woodbridge, Ontario. We manufacture resin furniture and houseware products. We've been around for 30 years. 7 years ago, the owners of Gracious Living have defined a very simple goal. And that was, guys, find alternatives to prime. Find alternatives to prime that will give us a good answer to the environmental side of our business, and two, that will reduce the impact of the price volatility that we see when we go with prime material.
And again, prime material being mainly manufactured from oil.
That's correct. Most of our products are made of polypropylene. People do want recycled content in their products, but they also want quality. You cannot think for a minute that the fact that you are recycling will give you any discount on the quality side.
What is your specialty? And I know there's some challenges with plastics and different kinds. Can you just summarize that for us?
Most of our products are made of polypropylene. We have the means and the ability to convert that PP from the landfill back into product that is later on sold to all the major retailers in North America.
Through the market development efforts that we've put in place and working with manufacturers like Gracious Living, we've been able to transform those plastics you put into your blue box into new commodities that could be made into new consumer goods that are now being sold nationally by Canadian Tire from coast to coast to coast.
As we've introduced our eco program to various retailers, Canadian Tire Corporation were the ones that realized the potential and asked us to put it together with their Blue Planet line of products, which we've been doing ever since.
70% recycled plastic in this little product right here. You can find this in the Blue Planet lineup at Canadian Tire stores across Canada, made right here in Woodbridge, Ontario. And you know, I get pretty fired up about recycling. I'm gonna go join the line and see if I can't help out here. Okay, perfect. Keep me away from the sharp objects. I love it, man. I'm making blue boxes. It's like a dream come true. This blue box is coming to a home near you.
Innovation is critical to the future of Blue Box. It's also a function of all of the things that are happening globally that are driving innovation and change in Blue Box recycling. We have retailers and packaged goods manufacturers who are committed to their sustainability strategies, who want to make sure that the products they put out into the marketplace are put in packaging that their customers can recycle through the Blue Box. So they're driving change. We have high prices for oil that are driving high prices for commodities. That means that the material that you put into your blue box has more value, and if we can transform and extract that value, we can run the blue box in a much more economically efficient way, and we can recycle successfully the full range of packaging materials that our stewards put onto the marketplace.
Are you a recycler?
Yes.
I knew she was a recycler.
Yeah, for sure.
I am.
And when you say that with force.
I am. Yes.
Yes, I do. Very much so.
Were you aware that Peterborough is now doing a pilot project to recycle additional plastics?
No, not additional plastic.
Well, do you know how many types of plastic there are?
No.
Nope.
7?
She got it right on. Amazing. Where do you think the plastic goes once you put it in the blue bin?
Well, I assume that there's some sort of center. I don't really know.
I should hope it's getting recycled to make some more new products, like water bottles, things like that.
Why do you think it's important that we continue to recycle at the blue box?
That things can be like broken down and reused instead of just plastic sitting in a landfill. That's going to take forever to break down.
I think that's a major problem that we have is wasted materials. Everything's garbage, and I don't think that's right.
So I'm from the coast, so obviously it's important that the plastic doesn't end up in the sea.
Right.
Because otherwise it just ends up floating around and wrecks the environment, so I'd rather recycle.
Check us out online at www.goinggreenforgreen.tv or follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.
Going Green for Green is brought to you by Ontario Electronics Stewardship and recycleyourelectronics.ca.
Switchable Solutions is a startup company. with revolutionary breakthrough technology that will enable greater recovery, greater recycling of various plastic materials that consumers discard in their blue boxes here in Ontario. Recycling involves what's called mechanical processes. And mechanical processes are chopping, grinding, putting pressure on something and creating pellets. Our approach is different. We use organic green solvents, and our system allows us to clean the plastic material to a greater extent than traditional mechanical recycling. We are focused on plastic recycling, and we're laser focused on polystyrene plastic recycling, and that's your cups and your disposable plates and your cutlery and your cushion packaging. Today, the sad news is only about 1.4% of that is recovered. We're going to have to think about technologies that can allow us to provide clean, consistent materials. We're going to have to think beyond the technologies that exist today, and we believe at Switchable Solutions we have just about one of the answers.
When you think about recycling paint, it's tough to think of yourself as an environmentalist or that you're even doing anything for the environment. But when you think about the volume of paint that just 20 years ago ended up in our landfills as toxic leachate, it's pretty astounding. So here, Going Green for Green is in Victoriaville, Quebec, and Mario Clermont, the CEO of Laurentide Resource Group, specifically the recycled paint division, is taking us around the facility and trying to explain sort of how their business runs, how it works, where their feedstock comes from, and what they do here in Victoriaville at Laurentide Resource Group. In terms of the volume of paint, I mean, I'm already overwhelmed. What are we talking about?
We're talking massive numbers. We're talking 7 million kilograms of paint coming in that plant every year. 6 million from the province of Quebec and about 1 million from Ontario now. So the first step is to weigh the bin. They scan it, it's automatically and live into our database. They put all the paint cans on the belt, and they take away what's not paint or what they're not sure what it is.
That's a full can.
Almost full, yeah. The average weight is about 2.2 kilograms per can, so some are empty, some are full.
2.5 million cans. It's pretty staggering when you think that only 15, 20 years ago all this went to a landfill.
Oh yeah.
The whole point of Stewardship Ontario working with me on Going Green for Green is to try and increase the participation levels and make sure everybody, because these are the things that people used to hide at the bottom of the garbage bag. They didn't want to think about it.
And when you sell your house, you hide them and then you leave them to the next owner.
That's right.
They're checking if there's any waste in it, like skins basically, or dried or skinned, or something else in a can. Sometimes we open a can and there's
cigarette butts or God knows what.
Money. We found some money once.
Yeah. There you go, in a paint can. So the brand that you manufacture here is Boomerang.
Boomerang.
And you have all the colors in the rainbow?
We have 16 latex colors, 6 alkyd, we have stains.
Can you actually have 100% recycled paint?
We can, yeah, we can.
So, and is that what Boomerang is?
In most of the colors, yes. For the lighter colors like white and cotton, when we run out of white and cotton, recycled white and cotton, we add a little bit of virgin. But there is a limit that we can add to be still called recycled paint. In 2010, we're going to sell close to 1 million gallons of paint out of this facility here. So we, across Canada, from Newfoundland to Victoria, BC.
Incredible, incredible.
You won't find such a facility anywhere you go in the world. Not as big, not as fancy, not as quality controlled.
So thanks for your time today, Mario. Really appreciate it. And you know, I think this has a lot to say about the marketplace in general and people changing their demand for recycled materials and recycled products. And those people that want to decorate responsibly, get yourself a gallon of Boomerang paint, or 4 gallons or 10 gallons of Boomerang paint. If you're staining your deck, if you're staining your house, get yourself the Boomerang product. It's 100% recycled, made right here in Victoriaville, Quebec. This program is brought to you in part by Stewardship Ontario. I have some time left here in Victoriaville, and Isabel has been so kind as to outfit me in a paint sorter's uniform. So I'm going to go help the sorters and see exactly what this paint recycling and sorting is all about. So Isabel, set me up. I'm going to go sort some paint. You can see that with the quality of product that they're working with here on the front end. This is the old paint cans in your basement with 1, 2, or 3 inches left in the can. Has no value to you, but at Laurentide Resources in Victoriaville, Quebec, they have value in that waste. So make sure you get your old paint cans, take it to the orange drop, and put it back into the consumer stream and keep it from going to landfill. Check us out online at www.goinggreenforgreen.tv or follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.
Going Green for Green is brought to you by Ontario Electronics Stewardship and recycleyourelectronics.ca.
When we talk about cleaning up our environment, we have to talk about the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. Take a product like oil filters. There are literally millions of oil filters that are being discarded every day, and they end up in our landfills and contaminate our lakes and rivers and streams. Today we speak with Dennis Goulet from Safety Clean, a company that is making a difference in the recycling of oil and oil products.
Well, Safety Clean serves both the commercial market, the automotive sector in particular, and the industrial sector. We collect used oil, we send it to our re-refinery in Breslau, just outside of Kitchener, and in Ontario specifically, we would collect approximately 300,000 tons of oil filters annually. When Stewardship Ontario introduced its MHSW program, we saw a market increase in terms of the number of oil filters that were collected in Ontario. And this is important for a variety of reasons. One, from the customer's perspective, it eliminates the cost of disposal of this waste stream. It extends the life of landfills in Ontario, which is critical. And really, from a value add perspective, there is value in the product that we recycle. The scrap steel certainly has value, but from our vantage point, most importantly, we're able to collect the residual oil that's in the oil filters and send it to our re-refinery and produce a range of blended lube products. So from our vantage point, it's a perfect win-win situation.
When we talk about the 3 R's, we also have to talk about batteries. A fabulous invention. Allows us to use our cell phones, our iPods, flashlights, you name it. Batteries are everywhere these days. And believe it or not, the technology has existed for some time to actually recycle these properly. Today we're going to speak to Richard at the Raw Materials Corporation. He's going to tell us about his business, which has been in practice for the last 20 years, but is recently starting to flourish.
Well, our primary focus is recycling. We recycle household batteries, and so what we do is we recycle those batteries, we recoup all the components from those batteries, and we sell them back into the marketplace for remanufacturing of new products. We believe that Canadians and Ontarians at most want to recycle this material. Everyone hoards batteries or has a portion of them at home, and so our government has taken a proactive approach to prevent this material from going to landfill. Our goal is to support sustainable development and the sustainability of the environment. And we also, we're pushing towards, and society is pushing towards more corporate and social responsibility. And corporate and social responsibility is more doing the right thing. And more you see people are buying products and they demand that they're being recycled or have recycled content. The future of our business is obviously, we're going to go into a growth spurt. The reason being is because stewardship programs are being supported predominantly across not only Canada but across the world.
So there's a few hazardous products that we're diverting and keeping out of our landfills. What about the Blue Box program? What are we doing with that material? You know, the Blue Box program started in the 80s here in the province of Ontario and has subsequently been adopted around the globe and has had huge success. And yet I still hear people say to me, What's the point in the Blue Box program? It all ends up in landfill anyway. That is just not the case. And people, your participation levels are creating an industry that the world around is looking at here in Ontario and saying that's what we need to do. It's up to you to continue to recycle and divert your waste, separate. It takes an extra 10 minutes, but you got to keep doing it.
Residents are really excited about using the Blue Bin program, and we see that every day with the type of materials that come in here. York Region Smurf collects about 90,000 tons of recyclable material from residents per year. And we do see a steady increase of that material each year in around 3 to 5% per year. Sustainability is an important aspect for York Region, and providing diversion options such as recycling. It really allows residents to do their part to help reduce the amount of waste that's generated overall throughout the waste stream. We enjoy a really great relationship with Stewardship Ontario. One of the things that we are very encouraged by is their investment in continuous improvement for all MRFs across the province. And without that investment, I think it'd be very challenging for us to continue to see gains in increasing diversion. And so it's vital that investment stays there to allow us the opportunity to invest and to pilot new technologies in the recycling industry so that we can maximize the amount of waste that we do divert from landfills.
We process all the recyclable materials coming in. We do about 45,000 ton. That's both cardboard and newspaper and your pop cans and water bottles combined on an annual basis from the City of Hamilton and all the curbside residential homes. We just recently put in a new container processing line. It was a $2.7 million investment. What that allowed us is to get better technology, more current technology to handle our increased recyclable materials coming in. Mixed broken glass was an issue for us in the past of finding an end market to process it. So what they've done is they've got on board and worked with another group and various municipalities. There's about 5 of us in total. And we got together and actually developed a process, a home to recycle our end markets for broken glass. And that's been working very well over the past 3 years.
We are literally right in the process of change right now in the province of Ontario. We're at that magical point, that intersection where business, consumers, and our culture as a whole are coming together to create innovative ideas and new technologies that can take our products and the packaging when we're finished with them, recycle them, and take the raw materials out and put them back into the stream again. We have to do our part and make sure that we dispose of these goods properly when we're done with them. Let's take giant footsteps and leave smaller footprints.
Another plastic bag is full. We throw it into the nearest landfill. It's out of sight and out of mind. What is the state of our humankind? And I don't know what to say, 'cause we produce more every day, and we call it garbage.